Hello, good
Crash Ball
afternoon.
6.
Go for it.
Absolutely exciting stuff. Yeah, Crash Ball 6 and South Africa on the back of feet at Rugby World Cup, having to rebuild ahead of their final pool game. Hi, everybody. My name is David Midgley, and alongside me is my partner in crime, Otu Ozmaster Simon. How are you, Otu?
Rocking and rolling, man. This is I'm really looking forward to talking about all the things we have to talk about this week. So yeah, let's get going. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, once again. And yeah, let's get into it.
Don't forget that you can
There we
always like
are.
and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share with us your thoughts on Twitter at OneWorldSR. I'm at Coach Dave93. Otu is at Ozmaster. And if you'd like to support us, patreon.com/OneWorldSR. OneWorldSR, not OneWorldLet'sR. Anyway, let's get into it. The defeat to Ireland. I want to get before I kind of dig into it. What's your initial reaction to that score? What was your thoughts straight after the game?
No, not taking opportunities. Everybody's talking about the kicks, but there was a lot of opportunities that the Springboks created, and they just couldn't follow through. We saw the same thing. We saw hints of the same thing against Romania when Rudolph and I were on commentary for that game, and he pointed out that the Springboks weren't taking their opportunities properly, and now it came back to bite us. Not only with the kicks, we'll talk about the strategy that was employed, and got some thoughts around that. So just overall, when you have an opportunity in a test match, you better take it.
No. Yeah. Those opportunities taken, a different game, a completely different game. I think it's something that South Africa will certainly dig into during the week and will do so in their prep for the Tonga game on the weekend. But if I'm thinking about this game, I'm just having a look at the stats. Territory and possession, we were there. It was very even. The opportunities to score tries were very even. There was a bit of gamesmanship on both sides. There's that famous TAS Analytics video. Shout out to that guy because he does some great work in opening both sides of the conversation. I think so often we have one-sided media where it's like, oh wow, the Springboks did terribly or Ireland did well. There's they are both guilty of a bit of gamesmanship, holding guys down at the ruck, holding a player longer than you should in a tackle, sealing off. Both teams were guilty of that, not rolling away quick enough. I think it's always going to be a difficult one, and maybe this is kind of our first talking point or two, is that South Africa, in their preparation for this, would have been incredibly physical. And I want to ask you, do you think that we were overpowered, or was it an even contest and we were surprised by the physicality of the Irish men?
I'm going to quote Ken Borland, my co-commentator in this game. Just precise rugby, meticulous rugby by Ireland. And that's why they're number one. Because they play the game so very precisely. The way they robbed us of possession on the floor in the rucks was masterful. A guy like James Lowe, that winger, lifting people off the ball, stealing balls at the ruck in the wide channels,
like he was a small child. When you throw small children in the air, that's pretty much how it looked to the common fan.
Yeah, that was just amazing. The Irish were really impressive where that was concerned. They were really on point with the way they played the game. I thought that we could have done more to exploit our strengths. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But Ireland really played to their strengths. They they got to the breakdowns much quicker than we did. They managed to steal possession a few times in critical positions on the field, and that was masterful. Well coached team, mainly Leinster, lots of guys playing together,
Yeah.
people who know each other, they know each other's game. It was a masterclass in the finer details of a rugby test match, I would say. And then every opportunity that they got, they took it, and that's where
I
you
think
see the scoreline.
you talk about being good at the small details. But I think it's also being aware of when the small details, those small appear, recognizing them is such a crucial element of any good test side. Their ability to
Mm,
see the gaps, control the moment when the breakdown could be a 50-50. That's where the game is shifted. And I know people talk about, set pieces and free kicks and penalties being a way in which you can kind of then shift the game. But it was at the breakdown. We've known that they've been good at the breakdown, but it was just a
mm,
masterclass from them at the breakdown and recognizing when there's a half gap here, when Bundy Aki broke through, or when you think about the moments where there was turnover ball, which I don't know about you, but it's one of the most frustrating things as a fan and always as a commentator when you see a turnover ball at the breakdown, because it's such a simple fix. It's such an easy thing that can be fixed or attended
mm,
to. And when it feels like you've just given away possession, I don't mind losing possession because of, we've kicked it away poorly, or not that it's great, but if there was degrees
mm.
of I don't like this. For me, losing at lineout, cool. I get it. Sometimes there's a turnover ball, but at the breakdown, that hurts the worst, because it to me it seems like there's more that could have been done in that instance, and nobody was aware in that instance to prevent it quick enough. And that's where Ireland was good. They saw the gap and they pounced on it with both hands.
Yeah, and I saw some remnants of the Springbok game before Rassie and Jock Nienaber took over. When somebody breaks the line, everybody's surprised, including the guy running with the ball, and then it's just an easy turnover because the guy's lying on the ground. The attacking player is lying on the ground, the Springbok player, I mean,
Yes.
and the Irish just pick up the ball and carry on playing. Whereas what we saw when Rassie and Jock took over is that they placed a lot of emphasis on getting those support players going with the line break, expecting the line break.
With you. Okay.
And
Yeah.
and so in
Preemptive.
this game, it seemed to me, and on a few occasions, that the line break for the Springboks was a surprise to everybody, including the player who actually broke the line. And then
Mm, mm.
players isolated. There's only one outcome, and that's a penalty to the defender.
Yeah, yeah. And slow, we tried to slow down their ruck, but then ended up not having a quick ruck ourselves. And that's a big thing that killed us. Talking about
Mm.
tackles, I mean, we knew this game was going to be physical. South Africa went out there with 7 forwards on the bench, but boy, oh boy, were there some monstrous hits. I think of the hit on Gary Ringrose, and I just thought, wow, the
Yeah,
Springboks are not here to play around. Boy, oh boy, did we come here. And, they're talking about emptying someone's tank. That tackle, particularly on Gary Ringrose, I know he went off for an HIA. That's empty your tank.
exactly. The defense was amazing by the Springboks. The fact that we only conceded 13 points, we kept tackling them behind the gain line.
Mm,
And once again, when we had our opportunities on their try line in their 22, we fluffed it. We completely fluffed it.
yeah.
So it was, skew throw, one skew throw. Um, it was all over the park. It wasn't just one player. It was every player on attack. That just as a team we couldn't finish off. We could have been 23 something ahead at half time with all the opportunities we had, and
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
kept blowing wind into the sails of the Irish, and they just kept believing that they could actually beat us. So my
Yeah.
prediction before the game was completely wrong in the end, but I really thought that we could just you know do that pressure defense, that turning defense into attack, just monstering them, which we did. But then as soon as we get the ball, there's some silly mistake or some forward pass, a
Knock on,
kicker,
yeah. Stolen
knock
at the ruck,
on,
yeah.
stolen at the ruck, isolated players going forward, no support, easy steal. It was very frustrating. It was a very entertaining test match, I must admit. I really enjoyed watching it. I didn't enjoy the result, but I really enjoyed watching it. It
You know
was
what's
an epic test match.
absolutely. I'm just kind of going through some stats here. South Africa on attack
Mm.
carried 383 meters to the Irish's 218. Okay.
Mm.
We also
So how do you
carried
lose a test match and you do that? Yeah.
we carried more over the gain line. We beat more defenders. We had more offloads. But the difference, and I'm coming back to my point, they won 74 rucks. We won 62.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
That's
they
where
were
they killed
epic.
us.
Yeah.
That's where they killed us. And
Yeah.
if we look at our own set pieces, it's much of a muchness. Every won their own set pieces 17 times. Nothing really wild. South Africa's discipline was marginally poorer than Ireland, but and our tackle success was better. So the thing is, but the difference as well is they won 9 turnovers to our 3.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what kills you. Is it's literally at the breakdown. Is you've blundered, they've turned the ball over, and then you're having to scramble for defense. And South Africa's defense works with slower ruck ball so that we can set up the rushed line, rush defense, and then we can kind of drive into it. If we're at 6s and
Mhm.
7s, by the time the ball comes out the ruck, it's almost like we don't quite know what we're doing. We're kind of saying to the opposition, just hang on a sec, we're not ready yet, and then we're having to do scramble defense. And sometimes when you're that close to your own try line, you get caught with your pants down, so to speak.
I think the key difference was just taking opportunities. That
Okay.
was what was the most disappointing to me. Yes, you're going to play against a team like Ireland, New Zealand. They will score against you. You just need to score more points. When you have an opportunity, we're very good at creating opportunities. This team is very good at creating opportunities. The As you mentioned, the rucks. When you're on attack and all of a sudden it gets turned around. I mean, we stole the first 4 out of 5 lineouts in the game on
Yeah.
their throw. We were dominating them set pieces. We were getting into their 22, but we weren't coming away with points. So what Nick Mallet said on the other broadcaster was that if you don't have a 80% kicker, why are you giving Mahoney a kick, from the sideline for a penalty? Kick it over the
Yeah.
sideline. Kick it to the corner. Get the maul going. And that, to me, was a, a big difference. That there's a lot of points that we could have scored against Ireland in this game. We
Mm.
had 5 or 6 opportunities to score tries, and we took one, which was an amazing try anyway.
Yeah.
But still, you have to play to your strengths. We have a forward pack. We have a 7-1 bench. So maul them. Just maul over the line. Maul from the halfway line. Maul from your own 22.
Yeah.
Right?
Push
Just
them.
get the ball into the hands of the forwards and just smash them. And we didn't do that. And we had Faf de Klerk kicking from his own halfway line. Yeah, okay, maybe he can do that, but that's not the strength of the team. He's not
Mm.
he's not an 80% kicker at international level.
Mm.
Kick the ball over the side, get the ball from the line out and maul it. We could have scored,
Yeah.
and and then we had 2 or 3 penalties that were within easy kicking range for Mani. But then we kicked over the sideline, skew throw, yeah, disrupting, yeah. It was just, I think, from a tactical point of view, there were a few things that the Springboks could work on. I'm not totally upset. We played a very good Irish team. They outsmarted us once again. We've we've talked about this before. When we play Australia, they usually the ones that outsmart us. I think we should just stick to our strengths, identify the strengths, and stick with it. You know, we don't have, we don't know what Pollard's going to do. He might have an off week or an off month. You need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to say, okay, listen, guys, the kicker is not, he forgot his boots somewhere in the hotel. We're just going to maul it. We're just going to go for the line out and maul it. I don't know. How did you
Yeah. And
see
well,
the situation?
you've. I don't want to be that guy that one week praises us when we get it right and then criticizes the same thing when we get it wrong. There are days that we're going to get it
Mm,
right on attack, and there are days that we're going to get it wrong on attack. That I'm fully aware of. But
mm,
for me, a crucial thing is, and it's something that cost New Zealand in that game at Twickenham. Recognize when things aren't working according to that plan, and assess and execute another plan. Because
mm,
to the point, one of the New Zealand broadcasters said, but at the time when the Springboks smashed the All Blacks, they said, how many caps on that team? I think it was nearly
mm,
1,000, and nobody can
mm.
recognize it. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask the same question. Nearly 1,000 caps, maybe closer to 700-800 caps in that Springbok one. Nobody recognized this is where things are going wrong and said, okay, gents, in these moments when a forward is getting running repairs, an Ireland player is getting grip spray, an Ireland player is getting cramp ease or whatever it is.
Mm,
Obviously, it's in jest, but what I'm saying is there were moments where the game had stopped. They all get together, they get in these huddles, they go, and they take a deep breath and exhale. So what's the next step? Because it's all good
mm,
about, they may have been talking about it. We're not privy to the information that goes on in that circle. But somebody's got to step up and say, you know what, gents, this is not a decision for us to continue playing the kicking game when you know the I'll take you back. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but I'll take you back to the
yeah.
conversation with Jacques Inaba when asked about Marnie's kicking initially. If he creates 6 or 7 tries, we don't care. That's fine. And we agreed with him at the time, or at least I did.
I still agree with him.
That's
Mm,
fine. But if that little change in that sentence is not working, if the caveat that if he is creating tries, there have to be tries for him to be creating tries. Otherwise, he's just creating opportunities. And yes, it's not on
mm,
him to decide, I'm not going to continue kicking. It's about leadership in that side coming together and saying, guys, in a game this narrow, we are not winning with our kicking because the kicking in terms of goal kicking, which is a separate entity, but the opportunity for us to either kick for the corner or kick for the
for goal.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So maybe that's not the best idea. Is okay. We know kicking is a difficult one. Let's not give him the sideline kicks. Let's rather go to the corner because we've got 7 forwards on the bench. We better maul them, like you've said. So there's got to be a decision somewhere
Like Nick
in there.
Mallet said, that wasn't my
Yeah, I'm giving you credit.
assessment. Okay,
This is
I'll
Crash
take
Ball,
it.
not
Thank you.
his podcast.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying is somewhere in the decision, if X doesn't work, then Y must come into effect. And in this instance is if he's creating tries but not finishing, whether it be through our own errors or it be through great defense from the Irish, one of two. It doesn't matter. The answer is X has happened. Y is the solution to go to the corner, to maul, to play a lot of box kicks, put them under pressure, to say, okay, we're going to take the opportunity to tap and go. Even if it's in midfield, I know it's outrageous and it's not what you would normally do, but then maybe put them under pressure and say, okay, cool, we're going to go back to a lot of men in the ruck for that tap and go. We're going to commit 4 or 5 guys, and I know it's way more than is the usual. But then what we do, we put Libok in the pocket. We say, okay, we're going to punt it upfield, and we're going to hold it there. So we're going to give our wings an opportunity to cut in from the wide and try and chase it down. Now the difference between that and let's just keep kicking for poles when we have penalties doesn't make any sense. And I think we spoke about it on Crash Ball 4 when we had the full team of gents. Teams want to be far ahead. So why are we going for the 3 points when it's clearly not working? That's rant.
No, 100% agree with that. That's going to be a work on for the Springboks, their tactics. When they go into the next phase, if they do, there's still a chance that we might get kicked out because the Tonga team are going to ouchie us.
Yeah, and Scotland could upset the Irish. You never know.
Ooh, that would be wonderful. I can't wait for that.
That would be wonderful,
either.
but it means that the Springboks are under serious pressure. We don't want that.
Well, if it's between us and Scotland, we will go through because we beat. So there's no points difference equation there. If we end up on the same points, all we need to do against Tonga
don't have a banana peel against Tonga. Yeah,
get the 5 points. Yes, and we don't have a Tonga team yet to talk about. Not that we know very much about them. Probably seen a few of them in Super Rugby. Any other thoughts on this Irish game?
No, let's move on.
Okay. And we move on to our Super Brew leaderboard where Hennessy is the top man or person. And Mr. Shamaze got the yellow cap. Still very close there at the top. Oh, Hennessy seems to be pulling away a little bit. So, yeah, I'm in 17th spot, I think. Fearless Cape Fox is there. One of our commentators, James Fox.
He's gone down.
King James. Who else is there that we know? Yeah, so well done to you guys in the top 10.
Not anybody that I can see.
Yeah, so GNAWTOTS, GNAWTOTS is our super team that you can join, and our 1WSR club you can join on there as well. One World Sports Radio on Super Brew. Yeah, looking forward to Tonga Sunday night, 9 o'clock. We need 5 points.
So I think a couple of things will come up in this game. I think the scrums and lineouts are going to be crucial. I think it's going to be a very physical game with Tonga. You know that there's always going to be something serious. Remember the last time these two sides met in Rugby World Cup 2007, it was a 5-point game. I mean, that's not exactly a routing, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I mean, so you can see the record against Tonga, played 2-1-2. We've scored 105 and only conceded 35, but 20 of those 35 coming in that last game. Yeah, just some concerns for South Africa to be mindful of. A banana peel if you're not careful.
Yeah. So let's look at the team that was selected.
So Bongi
Vincent
Banambi
Koch.
is out of the match day 23. Vincent Koch gets a start.
Yeah.
Finally. Let's hope he doesn't, slip in the shower or something. Not I want for him. I don't. Please, those mafia type movies where they say, "Oh, it'd be a shame if something happened to him." I don't know. That's not my commentator's curse. I don't want anything to. I want him to start because he was meant to start against Romania and then didn't. So it's 4 years since last he got a look in against Canada. I think was his last start. So we mentioned it the last time he got selected. Hopefully he doesn't get injured in the warm-ups. Duane Vermeulen at number 7. What do you think of that?
Well, Duane Vermeulen and Jasper Wiese in the same team, that's definitely telling me that, yes, we're going to try and soften up Tonga in the first half. Good to see that Duane and Sia and Eben are in the starting lineup, that they are able to play. We're not sure who we're going to play in the next round. We're probably going through. We're probably going to win this game. Tonga will have something to say about that. We'll see on Sunday night. But I think this is a good sort of 1.5 strength team. Not all of the best guys in the best positions. We need game time for Vincent Koch. We need Dion Fourie to start at hooker to get used to that. As far as the forwards go, I'm pretty happy. Marvin Ori, also somebody that could be, when he's on song, he's
that's very good.
Up there with the best of them. So let's see. And that tells me that it's going to be hard, once again, hard up front, around the fringes. Vermeulen and Wiese are good ball carriers. So that's going to be good to watch.
Now this back line looks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, besides the man at number 10, the exact same back line as Romania. Am I correct? Barring Andre Pollard at 10. And I want to be a slightly difficult creature. This is just personal. I would have picked Kobus Ranach at wing and put Williams in at 9.
Yeah.
That's the only change I would have made, and we'll get to Andre Pollard in a sec. What do you make of what do you think of that switch for this game?
I think that the Jesse Kriel selection against Ireland tells me that the coaches think that he's better on defense than Kane Moody. He's more experienced. I would like to see Kane Moody step up and challenge for that 13 place, for that 13 jersey. That would be what I would
want him on the wing.
Want to see. He's done well at outside centre. So Jesse Kriel and Kane Moody competing for that number 13 jersey is a good thing.
Okay.
Damian Dalende, Andre Estreisen, I would say
Similar
same
type
thing.
characters.
Similar type players.
Like for
Maybe Dalende is a bit more experienced, a bit more adept at defending these days. Dalende really stepped up his defensive game. Esterhuizen is a big unit. You don't want to be running anywhere near that guy because he's going to smoke you.
Yeah. Gain
And then
line carries.
Mapimpi, yeah, Mapimpi on the left wing. I play Mapimpi in every game. Grant Williams,
So then,
one of the fastest. Willie Leroux coming into the back line just to finish things off. And then Pollard.
Yeah, that is it.
Big pressure.
I want South Africans before we say anything more. I want South Africans to note that there is no guarantee that Handré Pollard is going to nail all his kicks on the weekend. There is no guarantee he's going to have a tremendous game and smash it.
He has had bad games with the boot.
Yes. And the time that he did spend on the park for Leicester, he hit a kick, missed a kick, and then got a yellow card. Now, a lot to take in such a short time. Remember, not everybody's going to come back like a Siya Kolisi and just say, okay, cool, I've been out injured with a huge injury, and now I'm going to smash it in the first game. This Handré Pollard thing, people are saying, yeah, where's Handré Pollard? Where is the savior of South African goal kicking? And if he has a great one, I wish him all the best. What I do hope is that they give him kicks in front of poles. Just give him kicks in front of poles. Don't try and kick from the corners. When you score a try, aim to go under the stick, please.
Yeah.
Make the perception.
Yeah, and once again, let's kick to the corners. We've got the front. We've got the tight five, the forwards to go over and rumble over against any team. So let's stop kicking from our own half unless we're behind by 2 and there's 10 minutes to go. Let's just get over the line. Let's just finish off the attacking moves. Handré Pollard has also demonstrated the cross kicks which he learned from Elton Jantjies, introducing that into the Springbok team. So we've got the skills. It's just about how are you going to play. Against Tonga, I want to see forward domination, starts up front, all those cliches. Go for the corners. Don't kick for goal for the first 60 minutes. And once you are 10 or 12 or 15 points ahead, you just keep kicking into the corners, mauling it over the line and scoring tries with the forwards.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's any team in this competition that can stop our forward pack in whichever combination you pick.
That has to be our tagline. Don't kick for 60 minutes, crash ball.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't kick it, crash ball. Beautiful. Beautiful. So the bench. Marco van Staden as the replacement hooker. And now I know this is the conversation. We've had it last week. We've had conversation. Must score. South Africa going with a 5-3 bench. Jaden Hendricks, Jesse Kriel, and Mani Lebok. So still some covering in crucial positions. Kwagga Smith probably in a loose forward replacement with Franco Mostert as your lock replacement. No RG's name on this week. What do you make of Eskom at number 16?
Yeah, that's weird. I still think it's weird.
It just looks weird to the eye.
We'll see.
Because, no Bongia Manambi, who played 80 minutes last week. Not nearly 80 minutes, not all the way, but nearly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I mean that's and we see with Dion Fourie against Ireland, he had that one skew throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all well and good against the shall we say the lower tier teams.
Yeah.
But geez, Van Rice, I don't want this guy to throw into the lineup against France or against New Zealand or against Wales or against Fiji in a
But
semi-final
can
or
can
in a
can Bongi
final.
be expected to play 80 minutes for 3 games in a row?
Probably not. So, you know,
That's the challenge.
if you ask him, I would bet I've never met the man, but looking at him, he would say yes. I mean, he wouldn't he wouldn't shy away. I'm not comfortable, eh? I don't like this.
Tough one.
And it's all good and well against Romania. He looked good, Marco van Staden. I'm sure, you know, nobody goes onto a rugby field to go and lose a game or to go and knock a ball on or to go and throw a skew throw. But
Yeah.
yes, like it's a
But
it's a
on the other
big
side of the
big.
coin,
Uh,
it
I don't
is it
know.
is valuable game time. On the other side of the coin, it is game time, and it's something
Yes,
that's
of course.
irreplaceable. There's no substitute for game time. When you particularly having Marco van Staden in the 16 jersey, when it's 60 odd minutes into the game, he comes on for the final 20. Maybe there's an opportunity. We may have see a close game like we did in 2007. We don't know. That's not something we can predict ahead of this game. We know that we're confident as Springbok fans, but there's no guarantee that there will be a guarantee of 10, 15, 20 point lead going into the final 20. So it could be a way in which South Africa give him crucial game practice in a tighter
Mm.
game or a game of margins, and maybe he comes through. I would love for him to come through. I think everybody would. It's just a matter of easing the nerves of seeing a loose forward in the 16 jersey.
We'll see. There's only one way to find out, and the game against Tonga, I don't think will teach us a lot unless we really mess it up. This isn't the team. The Springbok team isn't the team that messes up games against the lower tier nations. So it's going to be a good run out for him, for Marco van Staden at hooker. And really, as I've said before, the only function of the hooker these days is to throw into the lineout because of the scrum rules and the way the scrum is set and the limited capability to actually hook the ball. The fact that the referees allow you to throw the ball underneath the legs of the locks. Those are really the guys who need to hook the ball back to the eighth man. So yeah, it's just those line out throws, those 5 meter defending on your own line, and you've got Marco van Staden throwing into the line out like we saw Dion Fourie, that one line out skew throw, scrum to Ireland, and yeah, we got out of that situation, but it should have been different. I don't know,
So
man. I don't like this at all. And if Andre Pollard doesn't fire,
that's the
that's gonna
question I
be
want to ask. So I
tough.
want to ask. I want this. I want to ask this. Social media on Monday morning. Hypothetical situation. Andre Pollard misses 4 kicks. Moni
Hmm.
Libbok comes on and slots 3 of them. 2 of them being difficult ones from the sideline. Late tries in the corner.
I think that would actually be a good scenario for the South African team because I've said it before. Mani Libbok he's got what it takes. He just needs to sort it out in the green jersey. He's guided the Stormers to a title and a second place in the URC. First season in the URC, just kicking from anywhere. So I don't know what's going on with Moani. I wish him well. I hope he can sort this out, and I hope that this isn't a big thing. Because Andre Pollard is not superhuman. We have seen him fail as well.
Yeah.
This is a
But we
big
wish him all
pressure
the best on
moment.
the weekend.
I mean, we wish him all the best, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be Andre Pollard right now. You know, the amount of pressure that's on him right now, just to know that everybody's looking to you to slot those kicks, and that first kick that he's going to kick, that is going to be insane pressure. You're just being booted into the team, shoehorned into the team, and now you're there for one reason. Everybody knows, and everybody's looking, and it's going to be, it's going to be insane. So,
absolutely.
Next one, the Tonga stats. We've touched on this.
Seriously, with his 50th test as captain. But I would love to have the next one being his 50th test as captain.
Right. So 2 matches played. Springboks won both of them. And some averages and stuff like that. Biggest win, 74-10. That was in 2007 Rugby World Cup?
2007 was 30-25. That was, I believe, 1997. 1997, I think, was the last time.
Was the 74-10?
I mean, if I pull up the, I actually put it in the chat this week. The squad that took on, and in my mind, I'm just hearing 10th of June 1997. It was 74-10. Tries from Nakadrotsky, Adrian Garvey, Ruben Creer, Fritz van Heerden, Joost van der Westhuizen, Andre Snyman with a hat-trick, James Small with a double. So, 74 points to 10. It was at Newlands in Cape Town. And I can, looking at this side, I can just hear Hugh Bladen. That's all I can hear. I don't want to impersonate him because I'll probably blunder it. But the biggest win that time. But the last time these two sides met all those years ago in France when South Africa went on to win that self-same World Cup. Much closer that time.
It was a big win for the Springboks.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So I'm sure that's where, I don't know if you remember that awesome moment of Chad Leco's at the Olympic Games, Berkeley, also mentioning that. Unbelievable. That was, I remember that interview like it was yesterday. Anyway, so hopefully the Springboks can come out with a good win. As of recording, the Tongan side isn't out yet, but I imagine it'll come probably tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. So we'll hopefully get that side, and a couple of All Blacks. Don't be surprised if they surprise us with some skill in that side. The ladies have been busy this week again. They lost to the Barbarians 20 penalties or 2. We conceded 20 penalties.
No, man. Where did they broadcast this?
I believe YouTube.
YouTube?
But 20, yes. Yeah, the Springboks YouTube channel. 20
no adverts,
conceded.
nothing.
No, the Springboks.
Can we pause for a second? I'll be right back.
No worries.
We're just going to pause for a second. Take a break.
Cool. Yeah, so it was that margin of errors. Welcome back to Crash Ball. Yeah, the margin of errors are to 10 penalties conceded on the side of the South Africans, 20 conceded by the Springbok Women, 10 by the Barbarians, and that's the game there for you. You know, it's those margins that really make the difference. There's also a change in venue for the Springbok Women. They're now playing at Hermanus High School on the 7th. So there's a week off. And then next week, they were meant to play at the Boland Stadium in Wellington, but not to be, as they will be playing at Hermanus High School. So, yeah, go down, support them. Free admission.
Yeah. If you're in that area, go down there. Go and support the Springbok Women against Samoa, Manu Samoa. And coming back to that Barbarians game, it's absolutely shameful that it wasn't broadcast. It was broadcast on YouTube, you say, with some commentary.
Yes, the Springboks. Yeah, the Springboks official. Yeah, with some commentary as well.
Oof. I don't know.
But
I
not
don't
as
like that.
nearly as much advertising. And I understand that, I fully understand that the men are in the thick of a World Cup, but I would so love to have had a post from the men's side on their stories, and maybe I missed it. Just to say, you know, the women are playing the Barbarians this weekend. Get down there. Here's the YouTube link.
It's the freaking Barbarians, man. Come on.
Mhm.
How often do you get to see a Barbarians team play anyway?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, they could have had
Oh,
that at the, Cape Town Stadium, pump it full of people, get some free tickets out to the schools. I don't know. It's just shameful. Um, yeah, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna shine the light on the ladies. So all you people listening to us, make sure you get your asses down to the Hermanus High School, and they'll probably have some nice coffee stands there and everything else. Get yourself there and support the ladies team's final warm-up game against Samoa before the women's 15. Is that what they're calling it?
yeah, WX15.
Yeah,
WXV.
right.
Really excited
So
about it.
there we go. So Stellenbosch and Athlone Stadium. Get your tickets if it's not free, probably free admission, and make some noise. Make some stink about this Barbarians game not being broadcast on TV. Uh,
Mm,
just tweet your local representatives. I don't know what you do to get some rugby attention. But
absolutely.
yeah, the main sponsors of the men's team, give them some stick on X, on nah. Make it nah for the ladies as well.
Definitely. So some news and some talking points.
Yes,
Don't forget you can join
right.
our Super Brew code. Our
Hmm.
Super Brew team. As Otto said, GNAWTOTS is our right one. But tell us about those club results.
Yeah, so Marty's won the Western Cape Club Rugby. They got it over Helderberg by 26 points to 13 on Saturday. So well done to Tomatis. Moving on, Fiji or Wales to top the group. Cheers, Australia.
Yeah, the Aussie are out.
Yeah.
There was those group of adverts before the World Cup in which Eddie Jones said, "Well, we're not going for the croissants, are we, mate?" Well,
Mm.
is it the baguettes that you were going for? Because it certainly wasn't to get out of the group. And I wonder if a style that Eddie Jones likes to use is gone from the game. Maybe the bullying is not the right word, but certainly unnecessarily aggressive is perhaps the right way to describe it. You know, there's a difference between South Africans there's also that video circulating on social media. You know, we're gonna f them up. We're gonna f them up. You guys are effing them up. There's a whole, uh, you know, range of clips where Russ is saying, "Yeah, we're gonna f them up," but it's never belittling your opposition. It's just kind of pointing to your physical prowess. And I don't know what
Yeah,
Eddie Jones was doing, but yeah, he left out Michael Hooper and Quade Cooper, probably your most experienced Wallabies,
yeah.
so close to the World Cup. If you had said to me that you're not going to play them in Rugby Championship because you want to blood the newbies, but why play them in Rugby Championship if you weren't planning on taking them?
Yeah, blooding new talent is something you do in 2024. It's not something you
Yeah.
do at the World Cup. I mean,
Yeah, so close to the
you
World
could
Cup as well,
see,
yeah.
and you could see the faces of those Australian players as Wales just totally dismantled them. That is a big knock to your confidence as a player, and that's unfair. That's that's just not fair from a selection point of view to put those guys into those positions where they are being absolutely humiliated in front of the whole world, representing Australia, where rugby is the it's like the fourth most popular sport in Australia. So yeah, I remember seeing the close-ups of some of the younger guys' faces where they were just close to tears. Literally, you could see, their chin starting to wobble. And I do like it when Australia lose, but I
Not in
think
that
that was
way.
just unfair. Not in that way. They're better than that, and they left a lot of experience at home. Um, it's not fair towards the younger guys to put them in that position to be outstripped like that. It could have gone the other way. They could have beaten Wales like a drum, but they did 40 points, 40 something points to 6.
40 points to
Not
6,
one
yeah.
try, not
It's
one
not
try
even
against
close.
Wales. Against
Not even
Wales.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, so Wales or Fiji. Here we go. And
I
then
think
next
Wales will
one.
top the group.
Me too. They're looking
Yeah.
good.
Uh,
Fiji have already lost against Wales. They should have won that game. Fiji should have topped that group to make my
yeah.
prediction absolutely perfect. So Australia still have a mathematical chance, but it's out of their hands.
Oh, pack the bags, pack the bags, pack the bags. Sydney is
Italy.
calling. So
Italy versus New Zealand.
I don't think Italy will upset New Zealand, but I think if Italy do beat New Zealand, it is the single greatest victory in my lifetime of the underdogs. That being better than the Japan game over South Africa, that being better than Fiji beating England. This.
The second loss in a pool game for the Kiwis. Is it possible?
Oh my
Is
word.
it
I don't know.
possible at all?
My
The
head says
Azuri,
no.
the
But
Azuri
you
will be
might
up for it.
you
Oh,
might catch me singing the national anthem of Italy.
Fratelli Italia.
Yeah, suddenly the Italian flag comes out the bottom.
Pam pam
Um,
param, pam pam param.
so hopefully they can overturn it. Scotland, Ireland. What do you think about that one?
That's also going to be a tasty test. I think Ireland will thump Scotland, but I've been wrong before. As I was
Which one would
wrong.
you prefer? An Italy
Yeah,
win or a Scotland win?
both. Why can't I
You
have
got to pick
both?
one. No, you can't have your cake and eat it too. We're not French. We are in France, but you're not French. So put your
Well, I
Antoine
was
Dupont
born in
mask on.
France.
There you go. But you're in South Africa now. You can't call
Yeah,
Paris
I would
France.
say
Otto.
that's not. No, it's a different. Yeah. I'll show you my ID. I would prefer Italy beating New Zealand.
Okay.
That would be.
Yeah. And it's got to be like
Australia and New Zealand exiting the World Cup in the pool stages.
yeah.
And New
And I
Zealand
think
losing their first and their second ever pool games in one World Cup. That would be awesome.
was it not Andy Gomasol
Highly
in
unlikely.
2007 that had his try denied by Donny Rousseau? I think it was Andy Gomasol, but that's what I want. I want like the Kiwis to score a late try and it to be denied in controversial fashion. I want that. That would be brilliant.
Yeah. Those are going to be awesome games to watch, and I think Italy, they're gonna be up for it. It depends. I mean, whatever's going on in the New Zealand camp right now, hopefully that loss against France has disrupted them enough that they just so upset and everybody's throwing their toys, and then they just come up against Italy, and Italy says, "Zit, pack your bags." Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right.
All right.
Lastly, we need a tagline.
Yes.
So, Crash Ball Podcast. So, post in the comments, what do you think our tagline should be? What do you think our
Yeah,
tagline should
or
be?
tweet us.
Yes. Yeah.
Crash ball, don't kick it.
That's a nice one. I like that.
That's Otto Simon's
Crash.
for 60 minutes. Don't kick it. Crash
Crash
ball
Ball.
podcast. Don't
Don't
kick
kick
it.
it.
No, don't kick it. Stop kicking it, for heaven's sake.
So the tagline would be "Don't kick it,
Yeah, don't
just
kick
crash
it. Just crash
Don't
ball.
kick it, just crash it." You know.
Absolutely. But yeah, tweet us at OneWorldSR, at Ozmaster, at Coach Dave 93. Have your say, and we will be with you for Tonga taking on South Africa. It is an exciting game. It's going to be very early on Monday morning. Monday morning for Tongan time, 7 o'clock. They're going to be up bright and early before they head off to work. Hopefully, they're tuning in to One World Sports Radio as we bring you live broadcast of the game. South African time, it will be 9 p.m. So another late kickoff, this time on Sunday. And we will bring you that game. It is an exciting one. Back at Stade de Marseille. And don't forget, you can subscribe, like, do all the good things, ding the bell, select most, not most notifications, not some notifications, all notifications, so that you're part of our team as we bring you this final pool game of Rugby World Cup 2023. I'm David Midgley. Otto Simon has been my foil, as is always the case. Absolutely. Thank you for your time, Otto, Ozmaster Simon. We look forward to seeing you all on Sunday.
Oui.
Have a good night.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Otto.
Au revoir.